April 21st, Nate Norman was named the 7th head coach in women's soccer history here at Liberty. Nate, thanks for taking some time out of your busy day.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first off, Nate, what intrigued you about this opening here at Liberty?
I think first off, the opportunity to work at a faith-based school. It's probably what intrigued me initially, and the chance to share my faith more openly. That's something that I've always had a passion for, and the reputation of the service that this school does for not only the local community, but just for the world at large, and how you can integrate that into the way you coach and I think the values you have for your program. Not only are you doing your program, but the school is backing you up in the way they function.
A couple of the quotes I read on your introductory press release was about not just on the field, but you mentioned in the classroom, in the community. Why are those aspects to you as important as what you do on the field?
I think if you're in coaching for the right reasons, well, at least what I think are the right reasons, which are to build them up as people. Those are the things that are most important. It's, obviously focusing on their success in the classroom, developing them as people, creating a selfless servant attitude. Not only that they have with their teammates, but they have with whatever profession they might go into. And I think the cool thing is I genuinely believe that doesn't hinder results on the field, but actually complements those results on the field.
When this job came open and you started investigating your next move, it doesn't matter the individual names of who helped you and your counsel here, but what were some of the ideas and things you were hearing about this campus before you really started to make that move?
I think a lot of people just talk about how the campus is growing and the athletic department is thriving, and how they want to support you. And obviously when you come here, you see the facilities, you see the support they give you, from just anything, from the resources that each student athlete has to develop them not only as an athlete but as people, and the support they give you as coaches is phenomenal. They really free you to be a coach. You don't have to do some of those other things that sometimes you have to do as a coach, which are fine, but it frees you to coach and manage players and pour into players.
You've met with your new team. What was the number one message you told the girls?
This is going to be hard. That was what I said. The one thing I know I can guarantee is this will be hard, but I'm going to care about you more as a person than as a player. And specifically, like I said, that's going to be creating a culture of service, and I believe true leaders are servant leaders, and true leaders want to serve their teammates. You don't lead by ruling over someone. You really truly lead by serving under them.
Now we're getting through the spring here on campus. The spring semester is just about over. When you really get your feet on the ground here with your wife getting here and getting moved, what's one or two things on your list of things to do you need to get done?
I think it's just continuing to develop relationships with the players on the team. A lot of them, fortunately, are staying here over the summer, and can you get to know them, get to know who they are as people. Obviously, it's forming, my staff. It's figuring out who's going to be with me. I know there's, a lot of great potential and candidates there, and I'm excited to form that. And then it's just, I think, preparing for, we have summer camps and, preseason and things like that, and getting ready, and getting organized for knowing what we're going to do to get ready for that first game of the season.
Nate, I think it's important when we do these interviews, not only to introduce the fans, the parents, the players to who you are on the field, but off the field as well, and get to know kind of who Nate Norman is. You're a Rochester, Michigan native. Who introduced you to soccer, and what are some of your first memories of that?
I think the age when I started playing soccer, around 4 or 5 years old, I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's kind of one of those areas that if you don't play soccer as a young kid, you're sort of an outcast. So that got me into soccer, I think, just growing up in that area. My father was a college basketball player. My older brother played basketball, so I was kind of the first one to go soccer, but I think it was really because it was that stage of life that I was in when we lived in St. Louis that soccer was so popular. So that kind of got me going initially, and then I've been able to stick with it through the rest of my life, and it's always been a big part of what I do.
How about your college career playing? Went to Notre Dame, and very successful career there. What was it like playing for the Fighting Irish?
It was a great experience. I love playing there. I love my coach academically. I enjoyed. I was a theology major there. I thought it was a great school to be able to go through that major. My coach, Bobby Clark, fantastic coach. I don't think I'd be a coach without him. Anybody that ever asked me about him, I say he's a great coach, but he's a better person. And I think he kind of showed me a model of how valuable it is for that coach to really truly care about you as a person.
Nate, you got your start coaching 2007, Notre Dame, made it to the Final 8. You kind of got that taste of advancing deep into the tournament. How did that kind of sow the seeds for you wanting to be a coach?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Clark gave me an opportunity to be on his staff as a volunteer assistant, and we were able to advance in the NCAA tournament, and lose eventually, to the eventual champions Wake Forest, and I thought it was just a great experience. I was able to play for him, so you saw a lot of things, but then to be able to coach with him, you kind of realize why he did a lot of stuff, and I think it really. It really got me excited about coaching, and watch how he managed players and how he was so detailed in running practices and just how driven he was. And I thought that was great. And then, to have that experience of making that run in the NCAA tournament, and unfortunately, losing before, you hit that pinnacle was something that I thought was, it motivated me, inspired me to keep going.
Nate, you won 2 MAC titles at Western Michigan. You're used to winning. Liberty Women's Soccer is used to championships. Ushering this program into a new era, why do you think you're the best fit?
I think what we've been able to do at Western Michigan has been remarkable. I was blessed with some fantastic student athletes that I was able to go on a journey with and make some history there. And I look at Liberty and I think the sky's the limit. And yes, they've had a ton of success over the past few years, but I think this program can truly be a top 25 program. I think the resources they have, the beautiful campus, the support they have, the sky's the limit. And I think gives me a lot of passion and excitement for the future of this program.
That's head women's soccer coach Nate Norman. I'm Alan York for LibertyFlames.com.